So, you found your new home, agreed the price, and now for the survey. But do you really need one? I'm Nick, the East London property agent, and I'll run through you with my honest, no hold bars opinions on surveys. So most textbook answers will be yes. First of all, to determine if the property is structurally safe. Number two, to see if things need fixing, and if so, what would the cost be to me? And subsequently, number three, is it worth buying? But anyone that knows me knows I don't follow textbooks, so let me give you my honest insights on these surveys. But first, let me explain the main types of surveys you can get. Home buyers or RICS level 2. Now you may have noticed I've missed out RICS level 1 simply because this particular home buyer survey is the most common choice for, well, home buyers I guess. And it's an easy to read traffic light rated system where you've got green or rating 1, which basically means no repairs currently needed, which is good. Amber, rating 2, defects there with repairs needed but not urgent. And red or rating 3, you guessed it, more urgent attention needed on repairs and defects. They typically start around £400, but let me just start by saying I can't stand these surveys, and I'll give you a reason why. I find many of the times the surveyors commenting negatively simply because they've got very little knowledge of the thing they're actually commenting on. And I'll give you an example. This is hot off the press, example for a property that we had under offer. We had a survey recently, and it's had a recent rewire with an electricity certificate. Electricity, red, rating 3, not good. The installation appears satisfactory with no obvious defects. Oh, that's good. So why 3? Well, however, as such systems require specialist knowledge, which they don't have, we cannot comment on its serviceability or safety. What the buyer then reads is, electrics are knackered, okay? Hot water, here's another one. Now I'm going to paraphrase this one, okay? Hot water, red, rating 3. I'm no plumber, so maybe best to get a plumber in, just assuming in the meantime it's in disrepair, so rating 3. Roof, I couldn't access a roof, so that's a red, rating 3 as well. And so on and so forth. All of which leave my buyer in a panic. And some of them have knee-jerk reactions, not only just to reduce the price, but actually pulling out, especially nervier first-time buyers. So all of this can be resolved, I think, by getting the experts in. Electrician, a plumber, a roofer, or better yet, a general builder to advise you on the particular things. You most probably will anyway, but this just cuts out the middleman. So building survey. Now this is a bit more like it, because this is a very comprehensive report and it costs at least £1,000 and it's ideal for older properties. This will give you the warts and all on your property, particularly if it's structurally sound. But I'm going to let you in a little secret. I can't stand these surveys either, but for very different reasons. You see, as an agent, every time I get a call for a building survey, I'm not going to lie to you, I get a little bit nervous because I've yet to see one come back with no issues at all. It's almost as though the surveyor needs to find issues to justify their time and cost. Bold claims from the agent. Want an example? Got one right here. Again, we'll start with the roof. Looking from the street, bearing in mind this cost £1,400 this particular survey, getting a ladder. The tiles are original and close to 80 years old. This means they are nearing the end of their lifespan. And so, this is a good opportunity to replace them. Replacing the roof covering would cost in the vicinity of £20,000 plus VAT at today's prices. Okay, so then the buyer's on the phone to me, Nick, I need to reduce the price by £20,000 because this roof is knackered. All right, I say to them, not a problem, but do me a favour first. Before you do that, please call out a roofer. In fact, call out 3 roofers and compare. Get some quotes, compare what they say, because if this roof is knackered, then every single roof in the area is the same because all these houses were built at the same time. I lived one street away and I know, I just sold recently, my roof was fine. So we did that. Got 3 roofers in, lo and behold, they all poo-pooed it, so actually the roof was very, very good. One of them found a slip tile, charged about £180 plus VAT. So you can see why I'm not a fan of these surveys. Would I recommend them? Hell yes. I mean, how else are you going to renegotiate on the price? Oh, I didn't say that. But seriously though, the onus is on you to do the checks. It really is buyers beware. And not doing them can be a costly oversight. I still don't think, personally, the home buyers are worth the paper they're written on, given the amount of covering the surveyor does on their lack of knowledge on certain things. However, you know, and also, like I said, a good builder could probably advise you better. However, they do act as an insurance. And the trick is, and this is the main thing, right? I'm not I'm not anti-surveys, I'm not anti-surveyors at all. But this is the trick, and this is the biggest takeaway. Listen to this important point. Do not panic when you read them. Take your time, get some advice before doing anything knee-jerk, because they have to be read with an open mind, and they have to be read properly and not just look at the headline, read 3 figures. So one thing to be mindful of when considering, firstly, do I even need a survey? And secondly, what type of survey do I actually need? Is the actual type and age of the property you are buying. The amount of money I've seen buyers waste on surveys is astounding. Just recently I saw a buyer pay £1,400 on a full structural building survey when buying a 4-year-old apartment in a big modern development. Firstly, this person will not own the development or the building itself. That is owned by the freeholder. So inspecting the roof, something that the surveyor won't even do, is practically irrelevant. In the highly unlikely event that there's a problem with the roof, then it will be covered either by building insurance or a 10-year building warranty, or worst case, the service charges. And whilst this can be impactful on you, because obviously you're paying towards the service charges, your solicitor will do the relevant checks pre-purchase to make sure there are no major issues or major building works going on in the development. Internally as well, a modernish apartment shouldn't really have any issues worthy of getting a survey either. I think personally it's overkill. If there is anything you're uncertain of, as I've said before, take a tradesperson, because very rarely will a surveyor turn down the business. This is the thing. Even they know themselves sometimes it's a waste of time. I've had calls, trust me, I've had the calls and conversations with them on the phone to say, why are they doing a building survey on this? Well, I mean, that's what they want, you know. Very rarely will you get a good surveyor, and I've had it, don't get me wrong, I've had a surveyor call up the client and actually cancel and say, look, if I walk through the door, I'm going to charge you a lot of money and you don't actually need it. No, they're not the same. If you're getting a mortgage, then a mortgage survey or mortgage valuation is carried out by an independent surveyor that the bank themselves have appointed to make sure they're confident the property is worth what you're paying for it. It's really to protect the bank's investment, i.e. their loan to you. Sometimes a surveyor can downvalue a property if they think it warrants it, given the comparable evidence they have. Most of the comparable evidence is obtained by calling up local agents and asking what they've sold similar properties for, although most of that information is available online these days, so we get less and less call. The main bugbear for agents is that they can be quite subjective. One surveyor's opinion on value can be very different from another's, which is quite annoying, because I've lost count of the number of buyers that have pulled out on properties only for the next surveyor to go around with a new buyer and value the property up at the same or sometimes even higher. If you do get a down valuation, there are options for you. You can try and negotiate on the price with the vendor, or if they're still not budging and you have enough of a deposit to cover the shortfall, then that is an option for you as well. The mortgage valuation itself can take literally a matter of minutes, which can be quite disconcerting for a vendor, but most of the work is done pre and post valuation, and it's more about having a quick look. And quite often since COVID, the surveyor won't even attend, instead opting to do either a drive-by valuation, which is exactly how it sounds, or a desktop valuation, again, exactly how it sounds. These are more common if you, as a buyer, have quite a healthy deposit and a small mortgage, as the bank will deem it as less risk. One thing to note though, if the surveyor does attend, if they notice significant problems, such as cracks, for example, that they're not sure of, they may put a 0 value on the property, with the caveat that they will only value the property once structural checks take place. So you still are covered in that respect. I hope you found this video useful. Please comment below. If there's any questions, contact me on East London Property Agent, either on Instagram or TikTok. Like, subscribe and share here as well. Thank you.